and welcome back to Tech TV. I'm Susie Harrison and I'm joined by Celia Wanderley, Chief Technology Officer at AltaML. Welcome.
Thank you, Susie.
So tell us about AI in Canada.
Well, for anyone that has been following, Canada has been a global hub for a number of years, and has attracted very high-profile researchers in a few centers. So I come from Edmonton, and in Edmonton we have Dr. Richard Sutton at the University of Alberta. We also have Jeffrey Hinton and Professor Benjer in Montreal. So because of those high-profile researchers, we have been attracting top talent from all over the globe to these different universities, and that top talent has been staying in Canada. And if you look at Toronto, for example, you would see a very high number of startups in the AI space. So it is really about taking advantage of the talent that comes and stays, and to start to advance the industrial AI in Canada.
And what's next, do you think, for AI and AI in Canada?
I believe it is really, so if you look at the tech companies, you see them taking really advantage of all the advancements that we have seen in AI in the last many years. But if you look at traditional industry and AI as a horizontal enabler of those industries, there has a lot that can be done. So I'll give you an example. In the province that I'm at, Alberta, we have quite a lot of energy and resources, as well as life sciences. Those are big industries, and we do believe that there's quite a lot that those industries can take advantage in terms of efficiencies, and if they operationalize AI and embed it in their own processes. We do quite a bit of work, for example, in sustainability, greenhouse gas emissions reductions, carbon capture, and making the tie-in between being continue to be a very successful industry, but meeting some of the ESG goals, for example, that are going to be more and more important.
And so are you working directly with universities? How does that work?
Yes, so we have developed partnerships with the top universities across the country, and starting to have a lot of conversations in the US as well, to be able to make sure that we have access to that top talent. One thing that we have observed is that even after people complete a master's or a PhD in computer science, computer engineering, there is more that they need, particularly in applying those skill sets to industry problems. So one of our most successful programs is a talent accelerator that is only possible because of our partnership with academia. Through that program, we'll bring in cohorts of what we call associates, and they will work with us under our mentorship, but also with some of our industry partners. And every 4 months, they'll be developing solutions, but also having that exposure to real work integrated learning, so that by the time they graduate, they can, they're industry, what we call industry ready.
Okay.
We have been hiring a lot of that talent pipeline, but also our industry partners have been hiring as well.
And what sort of skills are you looking to evolve in those students?
AI can really not be successful if there isn't that intersection of the domain expertise. And to be able to leverage that domain expertise from the industry partners that you're working with, those who really understand the space and the problems that you experience, how solutions can be applied, how solutions can be adopted. There are a number of soft skills that also need to be applied, right? So it's like one thing that we like to say is that when you are in research and in academia, you go as far as you possibly can to get into accuracy, to get something, to get to perfection. But in an applied setting, that may not be the case, right? So going to a certain point may be good enough, and it can already lead to a lot of maybe millions of dollars in savings or reduction in like safety in incidents, like in security incidents. So I think that's not possible unless you actually work in real problems, right? So it's hard for universities to teach that without having people be exposed to real problems.
And you mentioned the energy sector. Are there any other areas of AI that you think you're particularly focused on, or you think over the next year or 5 years are going to be big for you and for Canada?
Yeah, so agriculture and forestry is a sector we work quite a bit in, as is health and life sciences and financial services. So we are industry agnostic for the most part, but going back to the point that I had made in terms of being AI being a horizontal enabler, it is very important that you can help the industries that are very successful in your space. So to that point, we are working on our expansion to Houston as our first location in the US, exactly to take advantage of a lot of the work we have done there. So but to date we have worked on like over 400 different use cases in applied AI. And there's a lot of like design patterns and different solution accelerators that we believe could be applied to some of those similar clients here in the Texas region.
And at the show in Texas the past 2 days, have you seen anything that's really excited you that you think you'll take back to Canada?
It's been incredible. I would say in some ways there's a little bit of validation, right? So it's good to get with your peers in industry and understand, okay, are we seeing the right things? And I think there was a lot of that validation here. I loved the theme of the intersection of IT, OT, and AI applied in that space. So that's of course in manufacturing, energy and resources. That's something that we see quite a bit. And the other responsible AI and ethics is something that is really a key pillar for us. So I loved some of the sessions and the panels that we had here, and to see that others are really paying attention. Like I think in this next year, we expect in the U.S. alone. In one of the panels, we heard there's 7 different laws coming. So the amount of different frameworks in this space right now is almost like overwhelming. But there's more and more of the regulatory framework being built, and we need to be quite aware of that and be able to respond, because we want to apply AI for good, and not to be able to really be that augmented tool set to enable people to work better and to have better lives. But you have to be quite mindful of that.
And when you speak about responsible AI, have you got any examples perhaps in Canada of companies, technologies that you are really excited about that you think will move into that space?
I think everybody will have to, right? So if you are, it is just a matter of how. One of the things that I heard here, and it was like already something we really pay attention to, and I would say being in Canada and with the very, I think we are a very immigration-friendly country, so diversity is almost like is always at the basis of everything we do. But the need for diverse teams, and it is one thing that over and over has been pointed as something that would be almost like a requirement to ensure that you are thinking of responsible AI in the right manner. So I'd say we have a partnership with the Responsible AI Institute, and a not-for-profit, based here in the U.S., and have been working with them for quite a while in terms of like really being mindful and being aware of the frameworks that are out there. But we do feel that we have a responsibility as a solutions provider. We have a responsibility not just for ourselves, but also to start to educate our clients and how they need to think about that within their internal teams as well. So I'd see a continued evolution in this space in this next year, especially as countries around the globe start to really pass regulation and policies.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank you for the chat, and
Thank you.
great to see you here in Austin.
Thank you.